Is China serious about resolving the border standoff? For 4 years, we've been asking this question. So why bring it up again tonight? Because of a meeting in Laos between S. Jaishankar and Wang Yi, the foreign ministers of India and China. Both are in Laos for an ASEAN meeting. ASEAN is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Neither India nor China is an ASEAN member. Both are attending as observers. This is their second meeting in a month. About 3 weeks ago, Jaishankar and Wang Yi had met in Astana on the sidelines of the SCO summit, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And now they've met in Laos. The focus was the same, resolving the border standoff. India is pushing China. Jaishankar reiterated his demands for China to fast-track negotiations and resolve the matter. In fact, here's what he said after the meeting, and I'm quoting, "must ensure full respect for the LAC." The LAC is the line of actual control. LAC, this is the de facto border between India and China. Earlier this month, the Indian leader used the exact same words. In Astana, S. Jaishankar had told Wang Yi, and I'm quoting again, that respecting the LAC is essential. Now, some would see this tough talk and back-to-back meetings as sign of progress, of both sides being eager to solve the dispute. India certainly is, but you can't say the same for China. Consider what the Chinese press is saying about the meeting. This is a story from CGTN, a Chinese state mouthpiece. The border standoff is barely mentioned. It's been buried in the copy. Let me quote Wang Yi on the border. This is what he said. "China hopes the two sides will meet each other halfway, actively explore the right way to get along, and guide all sectors to build a positive understanding of each other." Now, this has been Beijing's position from the very beginning. It says the border should not dictate the relationship. What's more, China blames India for the border tensions.
India's strengthened military deployment in the China-Indian border area is not conducive to the efforts made by China and India to ease the border situation, nor is it conducive to the maintenance of peace and tranquility in the China-Indian border area. We believe that such moves taken by the Indian side are not conducive to peace and tranquility.
So this is China's message to India: set aside the border issue and focus on buying more Chinese goods. Can India say no? Well, not really. Despite the push for self-reliance, India continues to rely on Chinese goods. It hasn't been able to find alternatives. So border standoff or not, China remains India's largest trading partner. Look at the numbers from the last financial year. Chinese goods worth more than $100 billion poured into India, and this may continue for the foreseeable future. Last week, India's chief economic advisor made a suggestion. He said India could benefit from more Chinese investment. India could benefit from more Chinese investment, foreign direct investment from China. India's finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman backed this suggestion, as do Indian businesses. They remain deeply dependent on China, so much so that they've been making appeals to New Delhi to give more visas for Chinese workers. Needless to say, China sees all of this and tries to exploit this vulnerability.
China hopes that India will fully understand the mutually beneficial nature of China-India economic and trade cooperation and provide a fair, just, transparent, and non-discriminatory business environment for Chinese companies to invest and operate in India.
You heard that. India should allow more Chinese investment. That's what they're saying. Beijing is also pushing for direct flights to India. They've been asking for this for a while now. Direct flights were banned in 2020 during the pandemic and never resumed since then. Because of the border standoff, India refused to reopen its skies to Chinese planes. So there are no direct flights between the two countries. China has been asking India to reverse this policy. Both Chinese diplomats and Chinese airlines have been making appeals behind closed doors, and India has been turning them down. Yesterday, China went public with the demand. The Chinese mission in New Delhi released a statement. It said, and I'm quoting, sharing a video clip made by Chinese media based on their research and data sources. They cannot help but ask, why is India distancing itself from China? Why is India distancing itself from China? Why indeed? Such an innocent question. It came along with the video. Instead of resorting to this drama, maybe the Chinese should withdraw troops. India's moves were a reaction to the PLA's unprovoked attacks in Ladakh. That's when India banned flights and placed restrictions on Chinese FDI. Chinese investments were subjected to greater scrutiny and Chinese apps were banned, more than 500 of them, including big names like TikTok. They do not operate in India anymore. These moves irked Beijing, but could not force it to course correct. And India acknowledges this need to address the China challenge more effectively.
चीन के बारे में हम तो हमारी फोकस तो होगी कि सीमा में जो स्थिति जो है उसमें अभी भी कुछ इश्यूज बाकी बचे हुए हैं तो उसको कैसे निपटाया जाए.
He said that right after taking office for the third term. Jaishankar has spoken with Wang Yi twice in a month. You could say that's better than no engagement, but the fact is that India's China strategy needs a fresh perspective, both political and economic. India has to find an effective leverage against China.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We are counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. For the first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Aaron Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.